In a world where everyone has the microphone, but few have a message, today we sit down with a man whose voice cuts through the noise. He's not just a sports journalist, commentator, or a voice in politics. He's a thinker and a man who has seen it all.
Life is actually predetermined or predestined by God, but it takes significant steps by mentors and parents to actually make things straight for us. I put that on a sociable question because I don't think I know enough, and I listen far better than I talk. The more you learn, the more you meet the right people, you'll explode. You can disagree with people, please, but no, don't hold grudges against people. It's not worth it.
On the King Obed podcast today, we sit down with a man whose voice cuts through the noise. He's not just a sports journalist, not just a commentator, or a voice in politics or public life. He's a thinker and a man who has seen it all. A man who is loved by so many people in the sports fraternity and into the media space at large. He is Collins Atapoku. Welcome to the King Obed podcast.
Thank you very much, King Obed himself. Good to see you again, and I'm glad to be on this platform with a like-minded person. It's always refreshing speaking to people you've known for long and you feel so comfortable with.
Interesting. And I've had the opportunity to meet you a couple of times. I've watched you. I've recorded versions of your sports day in, day out back then. And you blend a lot of things. At a point, you are a sports journalist. At a point, you are into the space of politics. At a point, you do a lot, and it inspires a lot of people. Now, take me back, or take us back. Who was the boy Atapoku before all this?
Oh, it's strange. I'm a boy who has been just walking around. 1 to 2 parents who are civil servants in Ghana. One was with the Ghana Education Service as a teacher. The other was with the Ghana Cocoa Board. Then third born of 4. So my name Atapoku suggests intrinsically that yes, I was born after a female twin, but unfortunately we lost her at birth. I'm one of those 2 twins in this world. Grew up in the Bono Afafo enclave, and then Kumasi, and then I attended school in the Bono Afafo enclave. Came to Kumasi and schooled at Kemp School, went to Anglican Senior High, then came to KNUST, and then left for University of Ulm. Came to the University of Amsterdam, and ended up at the University of Vienna in Austria. So it's been quite a remarkable journey for myself, and I would say that life is actually predetermined or predestined by God, but it takes significant steps by mentors and parents to actually make things straight for us. So I was quite lucky to have a mother who was a teacher, and then father who also knew the importance of education. So they didn't spare any expense to make sure I got the very best of education in my life. And it has been so good. I felt I was a bit good in class, so it could also afford it quite a lot. It all changed when I was doing my BA at the undergraduate level. And I like to listen to people talk a lot. Nephew Obin Obi Trice was at University Hall. I was also at University Hall in Proud Fellow. We were talking about this Boston in the JCI, like we all did way back at Kenya.
Yeah.
With him, and then also my friends at Independence Hall were plenty. I knew a lot of them from my ARSIC days. I went to university. I did politics. I'm going to sleep in this for politics and come back to God, even though I was slightly late at the end of the bench. So it's the discussions at the TV room, and then the explorations from my dad, being close to him and understanding certain patterns of life, that actually made me choose that path. So yes, I knew a bit or two about sports, but I had also been prepared to know quite what the life is when it comes to the general life spectrum, and that nothing is in isolation. My dad usually used a tree as an example for me in my development stage. That look, when you see a tree there, what you see there is only the tree trunk up to the leaves and then the branches, what you call stem to. When you go down the root stage, the tree is actually taller down there, and all the strength of the tree comes from what is inside the soil. So at no point did I see anything in isolation. Whatever I saw in life, I tried to understand what the correlation or causal relationship could be. Also, If you see two people fighting today, you ask what is happening now, and then you further ask what happened the other day when you guys met. So I think these things shaped my thoughts. And in Ghana, if you are born to public servants or civil servants, all you know is hard work. Because you look at your mother as a teacher, they start
Yeah.
taking you to school at a very early stage. Even before you are commissioned in school at 1 year, you are going to school with her at 3 months. You learn to crawl, walk, and all that with her in school. When she closes from school, we had the Asante tree, we had the
Yeah.
Bono tree, and then
Yeah.
I had lived with proper people with a Ghana language, so I could speak all those languages. And I was born in Sefi, so I put all these things together, and I should have known. It's the training by God that actually set me up for some of these things. So I'm such a
Wow.
forceful and a ferocious young guy that would want to know and have that unsatiable question because I don't think I know enough. And I listen far better than I talk. And I would be glad to share with everybody that look, maybe, just maybe, if you don't believe in God and whatever He stands for, maybe during creation or how human beings came into existence, there is a reason why we have one mouth and then we have 2 ears, meaning that the ears should do more listening than talking. And once you do, you learn more from people and you get to understand life better. So that before you get to this phase, people who have gone through that phase would be able to share with you, do this, don't do that, don't do this. And that's very important, especially if you travel outside of Ghana and move to any country outside Ghana to try and make life out of it. You need
Yeah.
very significant information to hold you down. Yeah, that's how I come across. And I'm so, and you know me far better than many people do that. I'm quiet, I'm a bit shy, and then I'm
Yeah. Yeah.
so smooth when you are with me outside of the broadcast space, and then
Yeah.
all that.
Wow. What was there a moment, early in life where you realized that your voice could move people?
Yes, I think I'll say senior high school and then JHS. On both fronts, we did some debate. I'm a very good debater. I won't deny it. I'm one of the best you
Okay.
come across. I'm a solid debater. At the university,
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
part of the university hall debate team, but I never debated for them. So I'm still so. But at the JHS and SHS level, I was the best.
Mm-hmm.
And then before I turned 15, I was the regional secretary for all senior high students in Ashanti region, which required delegation with headmasters, class, and all those things. So
Wow.
from that very early stage, I knew it was like that. And one of the things I hardly talk about is the fact that my mother's side were actively into politics in the Bruno and Half region. My mom is from a very good home in the Bruno area. His father was Dr. Buzia's economic advisor and a stalwart of the then EP in the Bruno Ahafo area. Many people in my mother's side actually think that I took after my maternal grandfather for his voice and how he came through for people every single time. So I felt it in JHS and then SHS. In the university, it was further confirmed when I became Speaker of the SRC Parliament too. I think my voice has actually stood out quite well for me in my formative years. But I never expected that it was going to blow up on radio.
Oh, really?
Now that yes, I never expected it because the radio and TV thing, it's a hobby. I got fully involved because of Obi Trice, like I said earlier.
Yeah,
and then,
that man is a great man, yeah.
Yeah, he's a great man. And then 2008, still at the university, Raphael Sarkodie and Apwaji Bediako at the crowd friends I met at the regional SRC level were also on campus. Then they are just about leaving the university. And then they also took me in and said, look, we are going to do radio, so come and do radio. So I did it with Obi at Focus and then Raphael and Co. at Spirit FM. Just for the fun of it, the passion of it, I just liked it. I followed them, and then here we actually never expected it to get to this level. God has been so good to me.
Wow. Interesting, because like you've transitioned from you are mentioning Spirit FM and your days at Focus, transition to these bigger platforms in Kumasi, and with the man Obi, I think one of the best collabo you've had is when you both were at Metro TV and Metro FM, where you used to have that debate called Hard Tackle.
Mm-hmm. So
man, I miss those days. I miss those days so much.
Personally, we talk about it anytime I see myself. Like,
I'm telling you,
some of the best moments we had on radio. You see, it's chemistry. Somebody, one, you've known for a while, you've been with and you speak with a lot, and two, he brings the best out of you. we are friends, we eat together, we do everything together. But as soon as they say you are live, we become ferocious competitors and all that. And it was incredible. We didn't want to lose. And even if we lost the vote that day, we wanted our arguments to stand out. Yeah, you can lose the debate, but you don't lose the argument, so that people say that you raised solid points, but you just lost the vote and all that. But I like it. I liked it. Even as a participant, I liked it so much. So I understand when people say, look, we love what you guys did on the show. Yes, I did it. I really enjoyed doing that with him. It was incredible.
And there were times I myself, I could record and then later listen. I'm listening to the show live, but I wanted to record and put it there so that later I could come back again and replay to hear the two of you just, giving us. And it was like something you've sat down to analyze, to research, researched and all. So when you were speaking, you spoke with facts and everything was clear to people.
The quality of radio we did that time at Metro was incredible. Yes, it was very well researched, and the people in the studio, Ike and Franco Nero, also played to our strength because we are two debaters, and then we had the resources to first and foremost vote to get whether we are speaking for or against the motion. So it was purely an academic setting. Get enough materials. They provided room for rebuttals and then for concluding statements. So the structuring and then the preparation towards it was spot on.
Wow. Interesting. Hard tackle. Mature academic sports.
You can't even shout. Just lay your facts down. Just put the facts down and let people see what you are doing. So you just have to present things chronologically. It was that good. And I'm not surprised you what I did put it, because look, it was so unique from what was on radio then. The quality was incredible. It was incredible. It was incredible, I must admit. It was good.
God bless you. God bless you for using that voice and that intellectual power to be able to transform young guys who had that zeal to go into sports journalism. Because I'm sure people or young guys are into journalism just because of you, because they saw you, they listened to you, and they were inspired to take that journey.
Yes, and before we went in, one of the things we said was that, look, even though sometime I enjoy like who were the big boys in that industry, were university graduates and all that, many people thought it was job for the boys, footballers' job, dropouts. They looked down on them. So I felt like, look, why not? Let's do something. Let's have fun. Let's enjoy it. So we had a clique. Kofi Asai, who is currently in Florida State University, was at Lab FM then. We had a lot of Gucci. Dennis Gucci was in Sika. We had a lot of our friends in the university. We were telling them, it doesn't like this. I was telling them, look, don't let anybody make you feel weird. Now, these people who are insulting you that you are a school dropout, you are in the class with them at the senior high school and university level. So what makes you think they are wiser than you, or they are better off than you, or they are not, just because you are on radio? I just didn't want people to see it like the way they saw it. And that's far, I can say to the glory of God that we inspired a number of people from tertiary school to get into sports journalism and then explain some of the things they need, because a lot of people didn't understand some of these things that happen in sports, and even in the boys actually became a good thing. So these days I feel so proud of myself when I see a lot of people who are actually doing something for themselves, that they are investigation, and then say that, look, I would want to add sports journalism to it, because you can do it. You can certainly do it, and it's something that you said on the show today that really touched me. A lot of microphones, shared messages, to take a message and put it across. We need it. The number of people who are into sports and are getting the right information about sports, the number of people who are into sports that actually don't know some of the pitfalls that is there for sportsmen and women, it's incredibly high, and we need to help the sports movement just in sports, and also help the people, the general populace, to better understand some of these things and then appreciate how it works. So I'm so happy with how far it has come. It's really good, and it's been good.
Great. How hard have you fought to become the man you are, both internally and externally?
Internally, it was very hard because my father didn't see the need for me to be on radio, go to school, and then you are here talking about medicine. He wasn't so fond of me doing that, but my mom explained to him that, look, matters of passion are in things that you can actually fight. If it is having a detrimental effect on my academics, then you could say that that's not good. But once it is not, you are good to go. And then at a point, my father visited, and then someone called that you could come to the Ajax training park in Amsterdam. And then I went there, and the kind of people he saw and how they treated me, he got a bit surprised. Because I remember then Overmars was the managing director then, and then he opened the door, and it was Riper, Clivet, and then the number two, Michael Reisiger. But they offered us a seat, offered us tea and cookies and all that. How are you? Welcome. My father, after that incident, asked us, so what do you do for these people that did? And I kind of so I was like, yeah. I know where we are going to. Then in Ghana, the last two, the former president, the President Kufuor, President Akufo-Addo, and then the current President Mahama all sought audience at some point, and I really felt incredibly good about it because I never in my life did I think there was something about policy, and then I'll be fished out that look, come and contribute to this discussion. Under President Akufo-Addo, it was about the sports bill, and then the discussion was ongoing, and then they called for me. Went to Atta, and then we had the meeting at the ministry. Everything went all right. We enjoyed it. Then right after that, somebody sent a message through an email that look, the president would like to meet you and one other person that they asked the next day. So please don't run away with people. I said, no, I'm not even paid. And then I had the opportunity to speak to him and his executive secretary then, and it was kind of refreshing. When President Mahama too, I wasn't so surprised that he came into government and said he was going to complete the youth resource centers that have been started because it's something I have done a lot of advocacy on with Finchio and then Sadiq Adam. So when he was preparing the final stretch of his campaign with the NDC, he sought audience to understand the importance of the youth resource center for rural development and rural economic boosting. So it made me feel so good. And I have met literally the top brass of most of these sports federations in Ghana. Even the GFA that people think I'm a bit antagonistic to. Talking to the president so many times. It would impress people to know. I was there, I received a message through one of the president's henchmen that look, the president is going to the Netherlands. He wants to speak to part of Ghanaian descent and origin who have kids playing football in the Netherlands. You would want some of them to play for our national team. I said, yes. I wouldn't even need you to buy a ticket for me. When he's going, you should just let me know so that I'll structure my itinerary and I'll join him. If that is not enough for him, I could let him meet these parents when he gets to the Netherlands because I did a lot of work in Belgium, in France, and then in the Netherlands to try and let the Ghanaian parents understand. One of the ways they could reconnect is through their kids coming to play for our national team. Instructively, a lot of them were hesitant and not so happy because of the treatment that had been given to someone like Quincy Osuabile, who played for our national team in the 2008 AFCON. So I tried explaining to them that things are changing. And one of the things they can do to help facilitate the change is to also contribute their quota to this. And later, I think something came up. Was it COVID or something? We couldn't go on the trip, but I have good relationship with people and I'll offer the little I have experienced or known because one of the things these young upcoming journalists should understand that sports journalism is not just Kumasi, Accra, Sunyani, Bolga, Tamale. No, it's not the capital. I watched a lot of Division 2 and Division 1 games. When I come and tell you I saw this here, when I say something on radio, it's difficult for you to dispute because I had a lot of experiential knowledge where I experienced these things I'm talking about and I have things to back them. And then also beyond that, I focused on the principal actors and that actually also helped me in doing what I did so well. And it's one of the things my mom and my dad are very proud of. When you talk about football, even though these old people didn't know much, but they feel that whatever happens on the football pitch centers around the main actors, players, and then coaches or the technical team. So why should I be giving the microphone more time to the CEO, to the club's team manager? No, you can't sell those people. You can't market them. But then those that bring money, those that bring people to the stadium are the players. So whenever I pick the microphone, I should be going to the players to market them, project them. There are many people who don't know Liverpool CEO Billy Hogan. When he's walking by me, many people know him. But everybody knows Alisson, everybody knows Salah. Why? Because at the end of the game, those are the people we should be talking about. I feel that going down to where the information is or where the action is, and also shining a lot of light on footballers and projecting them and their value is one of the things that I did quite well. And not least, trying to let everybody who loves sports, especially football, know that look, unlike what you people see on TV, sportsmen in our country, especially footballers, are fighting poverty much more than anybody else. I saw a lot of the players use that specific video on their status, and I was like, yeah, I just really want to lead people to know what these people are going through. The career starts at 18, 17, 19, at best
Yeah.
20. By 35, you have time. That's 15 years that you have to make all the money you can make to take care of yourself. So if you start football at 20 and you retire at 35, and then assuming without admitting that we are all living for 70 years on planet Earth, you need
Yeah.
to save as much as you can in a 15-year career to take care of yourself for the next 35 years, and not just
Yeah.
your dependents too. So breaking some of these things down actually made me endear myself to people. And then there was this thing about whitewashing of sports before I actually got in. We always saw what the Europeans and the Western world wanted us to see. Because these
Yeah.
people you switch on your DSTV or whatever you are watching, very nice jerseys, players are coming to warm up, no fans talking or fighting in the stands. So we saw it to be a perfect sport in Europe, and that ours is garbage. But it wasn't the case. When you go to the stadium in England, in France, there is fight. There are two set of fans in Amsterdam. Seen Feyenoord and Ajax fans agreed to meet somewhere and then fight before the match. They come into the stadium
Interesting.
drunk. They are so drunk and they are fighting. Some of them are throwing stuff around the stadium. It happens, but the camera would not be put on these people. They wouldn't put the camera there. They will still put the camera on the pitch for you to see the football, the good part, and not the bad part in their country. So we also love these European sports and football so much that we actually didn't even believe that they also believe in spiritism and praying for luck and all that and all those things. That there are sometimes that a Premier League match would delay in England because Arsenal are starting with 10 players when Kolo Toure is on the bench. Similar thing happens in Ghana and they are all over the place. So I feel like this. Well, no, I appreciate it. People don't want that. They just don't want that. So I tried as much as I could to bring in the level of spiritual involvement in football, letting them know it's not as straight as you think because you are playing against the air. And so you pray that the air would either facilitate your play instead of the air coming against your play. And these things, unless you are on the pitch with these players, when they say it, you won't believe it. Because for us, as soon as you kick the ball, you should get into the post. That times you are playing and then you kick, and then the air is blowing in such a manner that the goalkeeper can't even see properly. Next thing you know, there is a goal that has been conceded. Goalkeeper says, I didn't see it well. He's gone to bed with the match. He is done this. A lot goes into sports. A lot goes into
Yeah.
I knew of the scientific thing, but I also knew a lot of the spiritual things. So I tried to use the two to let people better understand some of these things. And it was good.
I think it's one of the main reasons that made you stand out as a sports journalist, because you were giving angles to which ordinarily few people or even no one would just look at it. And when you started, people didn't understand where is this guy coming from and stuff. But you realize that at the point, this kind of conversations now, people became attracted to the kind of conversations, the dimensions you were bringing, the perspective you were bringing in, and then they start to appreciate. When people go into these football games, now they start to watch. What did Atapoku say? Let me go and check. Okay, he said Real Madrid will not do this. Real Madrid will not do that. Liverpool, when they are coming to play, they'll do that, they'll do this. And so people started now going beyond what they just see on the pitch, and even looking beyond the players when they are coming to the field. And there was a time he said, when Salah is coming onto the field, he'll be the last man to enter the field and a whole lot. And people had, so there was a time I was watching, I just wanted to just monitor that thing. How is it going to play out? And virtually, he came to stand there first in the tunnel first, but you could see that all the players were passing and he was beating, and then he had to do that, cross and you see, so you also get to appreciate that fact, and you brought that thing to light very well.
I actually loved it when people started following it, because initially people were a bit skeptical about this, because as we say in our local parlance, so if you wouldn't believe me, I've lived with them. I've watched their games and I've read extensively about them. They do it, but you don't want to accept it because you are living with this mentality that it is us that do these things alone. Salah would always come out quicker than all the other guys in the Liverpool tunnel, but you'd always see him behind that door, that stretching, holding the door or doing something, they would
Yeah.
all come and line up, and he would be the last person to enter the pitch every single time, unless he is not clean. And that he enters the pitch with a particular foot every single time. So
Every single
if
time.
it is not calculated, then what is it? He's played hundreds of games for the club. Each one he's playing, he's the last person to enter the pitch. He makes sure that his left foot touches the grass first before he starts the game. Paul Pogba also had a similar routine where he would come and he would be in the center of the pitch before we pass, and he would offer his prayer. So let's appreciate that these people are doing it. They do a lot of things on the pitch. When we are playing our football games, we pray for a lot of things. Look, why is it that when we do ours, it's ABC, but when these people do theirs, for this one makes them special? We should appreciate both ends of the club and then enjoy football for what it means and all. So particularly when people pay specific attention to it. It helps. And our ex-footballers also came back to tell us, look, what you see in football is not just a lot happens, and there's more to it. I actually liked it, and I liked that people started following it, because you see footballers bandage their hands in a specific way, and people don't understand. In Benzema bandaged with the color of the jersey he was wearing. Luis Suarez bandages with the color of the jersey he was wearing. They do this all the time. All the time. People believe in what they won't believe in, but when it gets to our turn, we try to make things. I'm happy that it happened. I mean, it was with opposition friends telling me, hey, actually, we part bro, this. And then I was like, yeah, I do. I won't even lie to you. Sitting here, there are things I won't do because of what my father told me. I won't cross the threshold. And as much as I'm a Christian, I don't shy telling people that, look, life is as much spiritual as it is physical. So what is the point? It's been good thus far. And it's made people understand that before you get involved in football, understand what you are getting involved in. I called it a corrupt sport when I was in first grade. And people were like, one. And I said, look, all of us are corrupt. When you decided to follow football, oh, but why are you generalizing it? No. I want to win the league. You want to win the league. When I'm playing, I want to win. Not just that, I also want you to lose. I win. So what makes you think it's not a corrupt sport? I just don't want to win. Winning alone is not enough for me. This weekend, I want Liverpool to win, and then Manchester United and Chelsea to lose, so that I laugh at them.
To lose.
Or I'm in a direct title race with Manchester City. I win 2-0. I just don't want them to lose one. They should lose 1-0, and their best players should get injured. So that they'll get off my back. That is it. It's a competitive atmosphere. So let's not make it look like it's something that is so genuine and clean and all that. It's absolutely not. We've got to live with it. Wow. It's beautiful when we get closer to it.
Wow. In fact, you've done a really great job in Kumasi, in Ghana, and you could blend everything. You see, at a point, people thought maybe the sports journals in Kumasi are just three speakers, and then, but you could go to any space and dominate. And people were calling you, the English guys were calling you for interviews, and you could go there and even, like overshadow them and stuff. And so it tells you the kind of brilliance and the intelligence mixed with all the passion that you brought to the sports journalism fraternity. And that was something people loved. And I think that, you see, I watched some of your videos on TikTok, and people are asking, Bishop, when are you coming back? Have you left for good? You didn't tell us you're leaving and stuff, and a whole lot. And it really shows how people are missing your work.
Yeah, I actually understand that a lot, and I'm so sorry. But anybody that has known me for the last 12, 13, 14 years, like people like you, Obed, knows that I've lived on 4 different continents. Within that short period, moving around, I got married, and I had to leave my wife back for Europe. I came back to Ghana. She had also traveled, and we met in Asia. We did what couples do, had sex, and then I got pregnant. She delivered in Ghana, and we came to name the baby. We did the name ceremony on the Sunday, Tuesday, and sent me that to the EU office. So I've been a nomad all this while. I've been traveling around. It helps that I'm off briefly, attending to personal issues and family issues altogether. But I'm pretty sure in no time I'll be back with them, and then everything is going to be fine. But it shows that I really did something good in my life on radio. Something I want to really, really, really look. down the years and say that, yeah, I paid my dues and that I brought happiness to people's heart. That whatever has a beginning has an end. It will end, but I'll make sure we end it in a dignified way.
So, as a young man growing up through these stages, dominating the space, taking up mantle challenges and all, what did you have to sacrifice that people don't know?
The real me had to give way to a different kind of person that the TV and the radio put out. The personality you saw on the radio and the TV is part of me. Yes, that guy who learns, the intelligent guy, the guy with his flask every single time. Yes, that's me in a nutshell. But the shy and the quiet boy, I could move around freely, and nobody would notice that I'm going. Now, whether I'm sad, whether I'm happy, whether I have money, whether I don't have money, I should be happy because when I meet people, I should be nice to them so that they would confirm the kind of personality they saw on TV. And then I love to spend the weekend on my own or with my family in rural areas in Ghana. I know Ghana quite well. We all know this. Then go and spend some time there. I couldn't do a lot of that because being a journalist and getting to that level came with implications and expectations of you. So you'd have to be attending social events, you'd have to be in the stadium on Sundays, do A, B, C, and D, put things together, and also it actually affected the kind of social life I would have had. And then I got married very early. Got married I turned 28, and I got married to someone who was a childhood sweetheart. This is somebody I've known all along, and she knows this kind of person as their boyfriend and their husband. And then all of a sudden, she goes on her TikTok, and then the husband's videos on her place. She goes on her schoolmates, obviously their status, and then ladies are using your videos and sometimes picture, and then they are laughing, and they have this perception that everybody that is into sports journalism, so she always came home apprehensive. What all these many people we know now, how are we going to manage them? If you leave it to God, God will take it. Right? And then you see some scammers using your pictures and on TikTok and Facebook saying that they have travel opportunities or they are giving loans, and then I'll let us write a disclaimer and then say that it is fake. And then she says, look, if you are quietly doing some work somewhere, nobody will give you this to you, but now look at yourself and all that. But I sacrificed.
You brought yourself out.
Exactly. I sacrificed a great deal of secrecy for that, and then it was cool. Sometimes explaining it to partners became a bit difficult. My mom too felt that it required too much prayers for me to excel, and that now that she's not so close to me like she would have loved, I'm not even sure I can continue because whatever God gives us through prayer, we maintain it with prayer. And she never believed I'll be able to maintain it with prayer. So we put all of that together. It's been good. It's been very, very good. I sacrificed a bit of my personality to serve the public, and I don't regret it at all because the legacy and then the happiness and then the memories I've left with people, I'm pretty sure that they would like it for the rest of their life.
Wow. Has it cost you anything?
Well, yeah, it cost me some relationships too because you need to criticize people. The FA president took me to court. It's been resolved though. There are people you speak about and they are not happy. There are people who expect you not to tell them the truth, and that's the part I don't like with this life. I would come and tell you in private before I go on radio. When I hear something about you, I'll call you first. Now look, this is the story we have. What do you say to it? And then the person would say, I don't have anything to say, but don't go and say, no, it's not me. It's not me. It's not me. The station has your story. You are my friend, Obed. Now, give me your side of the story. Let me try and reconcile the facts with it and see how best I could put a spin on it. And then it becomes an issue. So it cost a fair few relationships, but we resolved it because now people got to know that, look, yeah, it is what it is. And then every Friday night and Saturday night between 7 and 10 p.m. I would close from school when I was lecturing actively, and then I would go and sit with my friends, and then we would have drinks and talk about life, personal development, and all these things that we can do to get better. And then they found out now I couldn't do that again, and they were also not so happy. And then I was the guy that took my mom and my dad to all their funerals from my SHS and their uni days. So my dad died, and my mom was around for some 30 funerals, and then She would want me to take her to the funeral. Like literally take my entire Saturday. Like, look, peak radio is 9 to 12 on Saturday. How can I take you to a funeral in the morning for you to do all these things and all that? So I cannot do that. I have to go to work. You are choosing work over me and all. The worst bit is that I have a wife who is very sad, but very firm. So she would like her dates, you can't interrupt with it. Every Friday you have to take her out. So if you have to, you have to take her out. You go to any of these joints and then try and have some quiet time with her and take her away from the busy schedule of home and all that.
Yeah.
Somebody would come, please, can you have a photograph? And it could be a male, it could be a female. You'd have to be nice to all of them. It becomes an unnecessary distraction, but then she also has to understand that this is still new you and then all that. Good. And then days, I think the son was in school, I was going to get them prompts. So they asked me some questions. I didn't understand the questions. So when we came home, they asked for my phone and then they went into the phone. I don't know who told them about YouTube and all that, but my boy could actually pull some of my videos from YouTube and then show it to me. And then asked, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Well, are you that exposed to know what I do now and all that? Yes. My dependents and all have become like that. I remember 2023 May, my mom came from the US to visit and I had to get her at the airport. I stayed for a day or two because both our the team she liked when she was a young girl and trying the mind. So we're playing against 11 Wonders in the Ghana Premier League playoff in Ghana. And then some of the people are involved with football saw her right after I left her to get some few drinks for her. They came to her, speak to your son to tone down on the FA and all that. My mom was like, wow, are you insulting people? Why are you doing this? Like, no, I don't insult people. I don't insult people. That's not my training. I don't insult people, so please. And then she also got so worried. Is there anybody I would need to go and apologize for it? Okay, that's fine. So it's taken a bit away from me. Like I said, honestly, do not regret it. It's something I'll do again if I get the opportunity because it really propelled me and it made me also meet a lot of people. And also get to know, understand things from people's perspective and appreciate life even better than the way I was doing in the past.
This is an interesting journey from something that you were passionate about and you've been able to turn it into something that at the end of the day you are causing a lot of change, positive change for that matter, and making a lot of meaningful impact in the lives of people. And young guys are watching you, young people are watching. What do you tell people who feel like they are lost in this life? They don't even know where to start from and how to even get on that platform again to be able to keep doing what they have to do in life?
Yeah, if I remember quite well, I think they were doing some of these polls and awards and I would always be winning and I was telling people that look, I know I've endeared myself to people so well and really come across as a good person and it's affected the way I've gone about my work, how diligently I've done it. But you know what? One of the things I would always tell people is that look, be consistent. Consistency defines greatness. I have a niche for myself and decided to be consistent with it. Doing something repetitively helps you grow in that field. I became consistent because I never spared the chance to study, learn things, speak to people all the time, get that information and be truthful to myself and to everyone I dealt with. Like, it's one of the things that as a young man you've got to do. Be truthful to yourself first and foremost and be consistent with whatever you are doing. Once you blossom, absolutely nobody knows. The consistency is key. That's why people learn their craft before they come and perform. We go to football, that's why we train for a whole week and come and play for 90 minutes. So the Olympic Games, 100 meters is literally under 15 seconds, 20 seconds. It is done. It takes 4 years to train for the Olympic Games. So be consistent in the practice and the training and make sure you deliver. One of the things God blessed my life with is the ability to deliver when the stakes are really high. Like I said in the beginning, I'm a ferocious debater and I spare the time to prepare and make sure I get it right. I didn't spare any time before. I will do it. I'll let you see it.
So these are some of the things that if any young man can stick to in order to define his or her lane and then to be able to get something on, to be able to move on in the right direction. You need to be truthful to yourself.
Absolutely.
You need to be consistent. These are the things that have guided you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they are.
And there are people
who got to be consistent. You get your needs. You train so hard. You train so hard, and then you deliver anytime you are called upon.
What was the most challenging moment in that space, in that period where you were on radio, you were in journalism, a moment that challenged you to a point that you came to a point where you told yourself, I have to give up on this journey?
Okay. So there have been two incidents that actually really pushed me to my limit. The first one was when the Kotoko bus was involved in an accident.
Yeah.
I had a friend who worked with the Kotoko Metal team. I think he's still there, and he's somebody I spoke to regularly because I needed to understand what went into football games, what happened there. So I spoke to him, and he was like, we are going to eat after the game, and then we take off for Kumasi, so I'll call you on the way so that we talk, so that I don't sleep. So I was speaking to him on the phone, and I heard the next thing I saw was Jesus Christ. The car in the accident, and then his phone went off. So I was so scared. What happened to my friend? What happened to the Kotoko contingent? What happened to them? What happened to the Kotoko people? Are they all right? Is everything okay with them? It was incredibly sad. So when my friend's phone came on, and then he told me he's all right, they are trying to take people, but it looks like some of the players are injured or could be dead. They're still like, oh no, God, please, we beg you, God, we beg you now, don't let anything untoward happen. Because I heard the loud voice, and then his phone went off. So I was even scared for him. But when he came back on and told me what had happened, it really, really shook me. And secondly, I visited a player's hometown to do a documentary with a foreign club that had actually signed him. The club involved was Manchester City. They had signed a gentleman called Aminu Mohammed. He was part of Ghana's under-17 team in India, some fair boy. And they had bought the mother a house in Tema as part of the deal. But we needed to visit the boy's original hometown, and the kind of poverty that we were met with, when we went to that boy's home. We were like, wow, this one is only a miracle. It's only God that can actually do this for some of these footballers, but for God, where would they be? It's incredibly sad. That was it. But then at the early stages at President, I was a nobody, and the kind of people I was working with, Chi, Sergio, all these brighter big boys and all that, it was frightening. So I just told them, I want to go back to us. I think I even left in October 2016. I told them that I'm in Europe, because they are moving. But I came back and I didn't hesitate, and it ended so well. I acquitted myself well.
Wow. Because
those
with the Kesben platform,
really the accident, the early years at Kesben, and then also filming that documentary on that Manchester City ball.
Kesben platform, it was a really bigger platform at that moment, and even up to now, it's still a bigger platform with Sergio Laka, who has been in the sports fraternity for so long, and so. I think I had a couple of engagements between you and him where you were telling him how he discovered you, and then when the call came through that Atta, I want to work with you, and you're like, me, you want to work with me and stuff. Like you were surprised. Like a whole Joe Laka will come to you and say, okay, I want to work with you. That is something refreshing, because to be spotted by such, a great man in that area means a whole lot. And it was something you came on, and then people were like, who is this guy? Where is he coming from? What is he bringing on board? And you set it out so well. You set it out so well. Like you're saying, most people, the top guys were there, but when you start to speak, people know that yes, this is the guy. This is the guy, Atapoku. And especially, you see, you created a kind of healthy competition between the foreign clubs, Liverpool, and you don't joke with Liverpool, Chelsea, you did it so well. And still people, some of your videos raise surfaces on the space, and people are like, wow, this man really has paid his dues to the sporting fraternity in Ghana. Was there a moment where you rejected a big offer and then you regretted?
Oh yes, I mean, the first one would be the Infra FM one in 2018 because I literally signed for them, and because of Obi twice because he was going there, and he's been my closest friend. I merely regretted because of that offer. I let Obi know. They agreed that we're going together. If he intervened, the Joy FM after the 20 Joy, and then TV3 after the 2019 I think about things. Also got in touch and really wanted to speak. I mean, they wanted us to wrap things up when I returned from Egypt, and they didn't go around. From regrets, I had to stay loyal. I really had to stay loyal. Yes, I had regrets with it, but I'm glad I did because I've been devastating for Jola.
Yeah. Who in the sporting fraternity that you didn't work with, but you think that you could have loved to work with that person? You didn't get the opportunity to work with that person.
It will be that, and then sometimes the two of them. No, there are three. J and some. I'm so close to them outside of work, and I speak to them a lot. And J for me has been one of my biggest inspirations too, because watching him on TV3 those years was the kind of thing. But I don't know. I've been on their platforms, and they really enjoyed it, and they felt we could have made it a lot more permanent. But didn't do it. But those 3 points I genuinely would want to work with.
Okay. Back to these are lovely guys, and Brian Kambodi, for instance, has held the front since his voice, his command, his clarity to issues, his analysis, and people love him. He's how he's able to combine. You see, people were trying to create a whole lot of factions and enmity between people, which maybe in actual sense didn't exist. But in the public space or in the public's eye, they thought something was on. But this Bright will just bring people together and a whole lot, and bring in these guys, refining guys who you think were not there. He was giving them the platform and all. And I think that, yes, people have really paid their dues to the sporting fraternity. And yes, like you are here today, you are just one of the big guys who have happened to the sporting fraternity in Kumasi, especially in Ghana at large. You've paid your dues, and we really appreciate it. If we still admire sports, if we still love sports, I think it's because you were one of them who made us get into that space, and we loved it. It's a generation of our caliber of now. People think we are favored, people think we are advantaged, but still we are not utilizing all the opportunities and the things we have. Do you think it's actually the case?
It is, because we don't appreciate the level of opportunity we have. Let's use, for instance, sometime in their generation were just on radio. Luckily, TV came in, but at that time we had social media, radio, and then TV at the same time. So you could leverage a lot on it. And I mean, in the past, you'd have to go to tournaments or to meet journalists from other countries. Now you don't. You could be on any social media platform and you meet colleagues from other countries. So if you need somebody to explain something to you from a country, you just look out for one of your friends and then speak with the person. I remember in 2014, that's like 2014, 2013, 14. That was the year Achu signed for Chelsea and went on loan at Everton. Liverpool were actually looking for Achu. They had nearly signed him anyway. I had the opportunity of speaking with James Pierce on Capital Radio when I was working with him. And then I spoke with Keith, who was also then reporting for the Liverpool and Co. So just imagine what has happened over the years. James is still a friend. They are always in contact with. But these boys have the opportunity to interact with, and the current generation have the opportunity to interact with them on Edge. In those days, I was using emails to exchange messages with him. And then they are paying for content, sports content on YouTube, Facebook, and other places. So look out for more, do more, and enjoy yourself. I'm pretty sure if you do, you will come to appreciate the level of opportunities and openings that are available for you. At this age, you are meeting some of the very best in journalism, and you're also meeting some of the very best channels of sportsmen and women coming to you for interviews. Opportunities youth. They should look at it. Youth, like, I feel a lot of them are not youth. One of the things that really breaks my heart is unnecessary bickering and aggression. Like, no, you are too young to be making enemies at this stage of your life. You
Yeah,
need
yeah.
networks and connection that would open doors for you. So when I see a lot of people hating, angry, and all that, I just laugh. Like, but what is all this? No, because the more you grow, the more you get to see things properly. People now genuinely hate people because of their opinion about football. I'm like, oh, really? No, you can disagree in unison. We grew up seeing Hearts and Kotoko fans fighting in the stadium, and then they will come home and eat together, or they will eat together before they go to the stadium. So what's the point? And then what hurts me most is seeing people insult people easily on social media space. No, I'll go live and insult you. No, go live and add value to yourself and that person. That's what
Exactly.
you're supposed to do. Go live, add value to yourself, add value to that person. If I can't add value to Obed's life today, why should I go and denigrate him in the eyes of people? Like, what do I get? Eventually, if people don't like you, what do I get? And then you see people, I've not met this Obed before, but I don't like him because my friend said he's not good. Really? What if
Yeah,
your friend
yeah.
is lying to you? Do you have any idea what you are doing with your life? You are inheriting enemies. Look, it's not
Enemies.
proper, it's not smart. So I'll be pleading with our generation that there is a lot we can do together when we collaborate. And there are endless opportunities that you might not even be aware. It takes one email. It took one email in 2012 to transform into a different person altogether. But what if I suggest it to you? Why are you hating on people? Why are you going about doing that? It's not proper. It's not nice. It's not good. And I genuinely feel that we can do a lot better for ourselves and make things happen. It's a lot better that way.
What is, let's say, the one lie that you think this generation has believed about fame, success, the voice, and all?
The thing it comes overnight. And it's something that is a given. It is there. You go and take it. No, you would have to work hard. So it took us through my journey way back in 2007 for his presentation, and all people don't care about that until they saw that we have blossomed on Metro TV. And then the God factor in our lives, you can't discount God in everything you do. Whatever we do, God comes in. Without God, nothing happens. So why are you making it look like without God you can survive? Without God you cannot survive. Fame without money is nothing. You are famous. So people expect you to be driving some car. People expect you to be wearing some particular kind of dress and shoes and all that. No, control yourself, man. You are a human being. Remember? A friend said you're a famous journalist. And I said, I'm a storyteller. You know that I tell stories for a living. And he was like, Deep it, you are really making sense. I said, yes, I'm a storyteller. At best, a glorified one because I have a platform. But why are you making it look like it's something big? Like, I'm not a celebrity. No, the celebrities are the actors. The players are the celebrities. The guys involved, I'm only telling the story about it. So I just hope that those who are lucky enough to be famous would be magnanimous enough to respect other people and other opinions, and then also see that life is very fleeting and transient. I'm up today, I'll be down tomorrow, and it's one of the things that whenever people interact with me, they go back and go like, wow, this guy is like this. Yes, that is the
I'm
real
telling
me.
you.
Until you interact with the real me, you would not get to know that I'm actually a better person than the one you've been seeing on your screens and hearing on your radio. Be a human being, be human, be there for people when they need you, respect people irrespective of where they are, their class or social status. It's important that you respect and dignify people because we are here today and then we are gone tomorrow. And if you have a burden, at least a smile or some encouraging words from you should be able to bring down this burden to a level that you can continue and believe that, yeah, I'm going to make it and everything is going to happen in due time. Now you go to work today and the boys want to drive the biggest car. They want an apartment, they want the prettiest girl. All those things are fiction. They are fiction. Don't be overruled by movies and all that. The real life is not a fiction. I graduated from school and then I got a job and then I got an apartment and myself and my girlfriend are living and then I drive the latest Mercedes and my girlfriend drives the latest Audi. No, all those things are not guaranteed. They are not. They are not. So live life, grow in life, and then you get the right network. The more you learn, the more you meet the right people, you'll explode.
Wow. The more you learn, the more you meet the right people, you will explode. And I think that come back to the being truthful to ourselves, building that consistency, and then, learning through the process, connecting with people, like-minded people who are able to, transform you and refine you more than the person you were before you met them or you engaged them. And that is what people are missing. And you see, in our society today, we are so engrossed, in the act of destroying people, characters, and all. And so now, like you said, this back of social media, people just go on, write anything, put out anything. Whilst that moment you could take to write something, build something that could impact generation today and beyond. Today, people don't see it that way. They see it like, let's just enjoy the moment. I see people who now you go to social media, they are just always in the act of sharing their pictures and things. It's gone beyond that. Put some value on yourself and let the world know what you are, who you are. You can't sell your picture. Before you can sell your picture, then you need to have added value to that picture that people are seeing. But we are so, in that fact that we are always trying to put ourselves out there without going through the mill, and it's a problem for this generation.
It helps me so much. It really does when I see it, and then people are being. It really gives me that, because look, there are endless opportunities on the internet. There are so many good people all over social media that you couldn't. They could offer a letter of recommendation that would change your life and all that. So why do people go in on all that and all that? So it helps me. It really helps me. At best, we can continue with our advocacy, but please put the internet to good use. You'd be amazed at the opportunities you can actually get.
Are you planning in any time enter into the world of politics in any other space that you think that you can dominate again? Oh well,
yeah, it's actually been strange because the politics, I've been involved since senior high school. I've been involved actively in student politics. I've been involved in national politics through different domains and all that. I've served on committees and all. But yes, it's something I'm going to regularize, going forward, because we are at a point where I don't think people actually believe in politics like they used to do in the past, and that they feel that it's a means to an end and all that. So just as we did with people seeing sports journalism as failed for the bad people, I didn't feel that I could challenge myself in that space. It's something I'm considering.
Great. We are just all hoping and praying for that day, because people see you on TV, on radio, and they feel like, this man has a lot in him that he can give to humanity. He can make a lot of impact, not just in sports, but in other areas of life. And I think that politics is one way or one area of life that is affecting the lives of many people. And so when we are able to get a lot of people, like-minded, free-minded men who are thinkers and who are men of conviction, get into that space, they are able to influence that space. And that is why I asked that question, because we need people like that. Because now when you look back what is happening in our country, people have just lived that aspect of that life to people that this is for a category of people, and these people do all sorts of things against people, because now the person you think that he or she is not up there will be the person who will go through the mill, become a policy maker, and will make policies for your child. So why do you think that you have to sit back for those people to just go through, while you can go in to make the change that you want, be part of the change?
It's very essential that we all take a good look at it and then get the right people we want to push the narrative we want in life about it. Because politics is about managing the political economy and then initiating policies that would trade the political class. Are we working for just the elite political class, or we are working for the ordinary Ghanaian on the street, or the good people who can have the larger collective interest? And I feel at some point we should take a good look at getting the right people in there and not making it look like politics is for just a particular group of people like us. I'm optimistic together, because we cannot do it. We can shape a different narrative on all of us.
Wow. As we wrap up, as a young man who has gone through a lot, who has transformed into the man you aspired to be some time ago, what is that one advice that has changed your perspective about life, that is, you are holding on to, and you say, I will never let this slip away from me?
Have dreams, have aspirations, and believe that if you prepare, eventually there'll be an opportunity for you. So if you don't prepare and that opportunity comes, you wouldn't be able to execute. But if you are well prepared and then it meets the opportunity, you seal it.
Great. When all is said and done, how do you want to be remembered? Not as a sports journalist, not as a commentator, not as a politician, but as a man.
I would want to be remembered as the guy that actually brought joy into your heart and had good moments with you in life, and that shared the little I knew and changed your perception about life. That is for the outside world. And then for my family, that guy that would come back home right from work and then be home and then have kids trampling over him and I'm always asking questions, what is this, what is that? Providing support for as many people as I could. I feel that it's the joy and the personal moments I shared with people that I want everybody to remember me with. They were significant.
Wow. Collins Atapoku. When I sent the message and you responded, I was like, wow, this man, he never seems to surprise people.
I haven't changed at all.
I took my mind back to the time. I really remember that place. We met at the Report Market. Yeah, at the Report Market, and he said, "Oh, yeah," and I was like, "Wow!" So now the man I used to watch on television, I used to watch, listen to on radio and stuff, and a staunch Liverpool fan who motivated and energized us to be fans of football. I am having a conversation with him, and I have the privilege now to be asking the questions for him to say, okay,
absolutely,
I'll answer to you. That is so human of you. That is so refreshing, and I am glad that you were able to make it. You say it's a deal. Let's go on this podcast, and then let me give a fair share of what I've gone through as a man, as a young boy, growing as a family man, as a sports journalist, and all to your audience. Thank you so much for coming on the King Obed podcast and for sharing your moments with us, the joy, the losses, the lessons, and all about life with us. As we wrap up, what will be your final words to anyone, any young person, any man watching or who will be listening or watching this episode?
This world we are in, we are time bound, and it's also fleeting. You won't be here forever, and whatever we are doing it on borrowed time. Please enjoy this life as much as you can and stay away from bickering or quarreling or having unnecessary problems with people. It's not worth it. It could even get to the point of saying, I hate somebody. No, it is not worth it. All those things that we have within us, it's not worth it. It won't take us anywhere. You can disagree with people peacefully, but don't hold grudges against people. It's not worth it. It is just not worth it.
Wow.
It is not worth it.
And
thanks for having me.
I'm really glad that I should be thanking you for availing yourself for you to come on this podcast for us to have this insightful conversation. And I believe you've shared your story with us, your times, your lessons, and all about life. And I know that people, listeners, viewers will take a very good note of what you've shared, and they will add it to the bits of their life, and it will shape their life, their mindset, and it will transform them. Yes, thank you so much for coming on the King Obed podcast. Yes, so viewers, listeners, this is our episode with Collins Atapoku, the man who is loved by almost everybody in the sporting fraternity and at large, who has given us a fair or a full dossier of who he is. Yes, so enjoy this episode. Don't forget to subscribe to the King Obed podcast, share, like, and let us be on the journey of personal transformation and then inspiring each other and motivating each other. Thank you all. Bye-bye.